Welcome. This is Crimey Queen. If you are joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. Okay, and this is all about actualizing self-love. Everything we do here is to enable us to have a deeper understanding, well, that's the intention, a deeper understanding about self and our purpose and love and how we can accept ourselves and the other. Okay, now to do that, of course, I felt it was necessary to tap into our inner learning or conditionings as to how I say inner, I think how we have been conditioned, how we have been taught about where we have come from the story of Adam and Eve that has had very profound teachings or impact or effects or affects on our being. So let's see how we can look at Mother Eve, which is here, and of course, not meaning to put, well, yes, meaning to put Adam Eve in the back, but it's not to dismiss Adam as part of the whole, but we are believing that the purpose of all this here, the emphasis on Mother Eve now, is really to generate some sort of balance in our thinking, our doing, and being. Of course, we know it and we hear it, and if you're watching this, it would mean that you are interested in having or creating a degree of balance in the earth. Hence, we are looking at the feminine, we are looking at Mother Earth. Of course, there is no need to go on explaining much more about this, but we know that there is a nurturing to be done. There is the scales need to be balanced now. Okay, and I'm happy to be talking about the balance now, looking at the month of October, because it is the 10th month, which has the aspects of feminine and masculine, or we could say positive and negative, because the number 10, of course, which denotes heaven. If we were to spell the word heaven, we would come to the number 10. I think heaven is either 37 or 28. We have Adam, which is also 10, but we would see this is why it is said, of course, with Adam, the wife or woman was taken from him. Of course, I speak a lot about Eve, the Eve that was in chapter 1 and verse 2 of Genesis, which meaning that there was the feminine was there before this Adam with the man, because if we I'm just thinking in men when God created man, for instance, because we are woman, so this is man. We are still of man. We are still man. And so not to get too lost into that, but it's really emphasis of why um, we are emphasizing on having that balance with the feminine. We believe that there needs to be a recognition of or relationship, the quality of relationship that we ought to have with our mother. It is very important that while we are on the path of finding love or actualizing self-love, that we need to take in consideration where we are coming from, meaning that we see it all the time that people are thinking, I want to know who I am, because part of who we are, or the sense of who we are, the sense of self-identity that we create or establish, has a lot to do with our understanding of where we come from. That in essence helps us to understand who we are and what we are meant to be, or where we are meant to go, or what we are meant to have, or purpose in essence. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, this is the template talking of Adam and Eve. This is from the sacrifice of Christ. of course, Christ. I do go on about this, and I believe that it perhaps makes sense to do that. That Christ also is five, like the feminine. And I have this understanding that Christ's teaching was a lot about nurturing. It seemed to have come from an aspect, or the nurturing, or the motherly, or the feminine aspect, to render that which we need to grow to become who we are meant to be. So on sacrifice, we know that um, a mother, first of all, if we were to say about sacrifice, she has this wonderful figure and looking very nice, and everybody says, oh, you're looking lovely, you've got a perfect figure. But yes, to have a child, she is conscious that that figure, um, that line, that guitar shape, so to speak, is not going to be for at least 9 months, a year, or maybe two. That it's not going to be the same. And that is, in essence, the first part of this person saying, okay, I'm going to sacrifice that. It may seem like it's ego, but it is still that which we sacrifice, a slaying away of that ego mentality of what the physical aspect of our being looks like, but we are able to say, okay, never mind that, but I will, what's important to me is to bring a child into this world. That is very important. She has taken this on as a role, that is part of her purpose, of what she is meant to be, represent, and do. Okay, so we call this, so we see, like with the word sacrifice, where Christ, we are told, died on the cross. And again, the cross is really, although the word cross, I think it equals 20, but this is really saying that this is the foundation. The number two is foundation of that unity, the foundation of harmony. This is where two comes together, or come together. So there we are again, from that from the word sacrifice, we could see in the middle here, there is the B that denotes that feminine, giving, nurturing, and of course, as I say, in relation to Christ, the B, which is a number 13, when close together, where they come together and unite, becomes that bond. This is where mother and child is bonded. This is where there is agreement and harmony. It's like the basket. Everybody who was eating from the basket of bread, from the miracle that Christ did, where there was excess bread in excess, there would have been a degree of harmony, or union. It was a union, a form of union, where people are everyone's doing that same thing, that everyone is in tune and they're in sync, and there's harmony in that state. And it's often like that with food, when food is around. Everyone's talking about the food. Isn't it delicious? Okay. So the essence of this presentation really was to more or less just highlight the essence of Christ and Eve. Again, I'm just doing this one very short, and basically, I'm just doing this to warm up. It's a way of finding a direction because I'm just trying to get on doing some presentations, but I felt it was necessary to go over these. If you're new to this is the Jazz Bucket Luck Development New Fox Gypsy Journey Headquarters Inland Revenue. I have used these terms to help me remember the numbers from 1 to 9 in numerology. And of course, we have got these blocks here, and revelation and water. So basically, it's a way of embracing that or the nurturing. So as I say, it's the 10th month. It's looking at Father Adam, which is actually 10, and Mother Eve, which is Eve is 5, and likewise is Christ. So when we look at this template, for instance, where we are saying that 10 is balanced, we see there is 1 and there is 5. So we see the 9 also constitute, it's like the 0 and 1. So 9 is actually a 0 and 1. So we see the 1 is on both ends of the scale, if you like. There's where 9 has given birth, and there is mother and child. So this is what we are talking about. And here in 5, this is where it is said, when you're in Christ, you're a new creature. But this is where Eve ate of the fruit of good and evil. Okay, or the fruit of knowledge. Okay, and there we have the when we do, for instance, because we are doing numerology, of course. So beginning is 9, which I have just wiped off, but Christ, Christ, and all is 389912. So when we add this together, which I do this way, this is 18, 20, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So Christ is 32. And if we do the word Eve, is 5, 4, 5. Of course, 5 and 5, 10, and 4, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so we see that they are both 5. This is where I say there's the emphasis of the 2 being of nurturing. So I won't go too much into Christ and Eve now, because most of the presentations are based on have looked at the closeness and of the relationship between Christ and Eve, of course, from the number 14. So I have lots of presentations on this. So I hope you have found this fun, and do like and subscribe and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. Stay blessed, stay bright, be fulfilled, be ignited, because we are planting new seeds. Namaste, and spill over with love.